right, let's go ahead and switch gears. We'll talk Indians and bring in our Indians beat reporter, Paul Hoynes. Hoynesy, what's going on?
Hi, guys.
All right, Hoynesy. It's, what do we want to call it? Bat flip gate? I don't know. Jose Ramirez and his bat flip. It got lots of people talking. The Twins are not happy about it. What did you think of the bat flip?
You know, I kind of liked it, really. I really did. I like Ramirez. He's a little short, little cocky guy, kind of strutting around. You know, I can see why the Twins would be upset. But, you know, they walked distance to get to him, and they got burned. So, but still, it was a 10-2 game. It was probably a little over the top, but I think you can live with that. You know, and at the end of the season, you can live with that.
It's really a microcosm of the season, and I think so fitting, Hoynesy. It's an 8-run game. It's the 8th inning. It's not even the 9th inning. It's not even a walk-off home run. It's not even a game that keeps the Indians' wild card hopes alive because they're out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, baseball is such a weird game. You know, they have so many unwritten rules, and those unwritten rules only apply when they fit a certain situation to you know, in the interpretation of a certain team. So in that regard, the Twins are upset, and even Terry Francona was upset with Ramirez. But you know, I liked what Ramirez said. He said, "Hey, if they're mad and they hit me today, you know, providing he's in the lineup tonight, I'll take it, and we'll move on." And but I don't think you'll see anything happen tonight. I think you know, the game still means something to the Twins. I don't think they're going to, you know, do anything to disrupt that. And you know, baseball players have long memories, and the Twins and Indians play 19 times next year.
All right, Hoynesy, I saw an interesting question on Twitter with Mark Shapiro moving on, and of course this season has been a disappointment. And you know, regardless of what you thought of Shapiro, this guy was always kind of the voice of the franchise. He would come out and talk during free agent signings and whatnot. Who takes over that role now for this team? Because the Dolans have been reluctant to kind of be a public face. Chris Antonetti, I mean, he kind of has been, but he's the GM. Who takes on that role?
Well, I think Antonetti will take on that role. I think, you know, he will, you know, he's in charge of the baseball operations. He'll, you know, discuss major signings or trades or player movement. I think, you know, all that, you know, will kind of filter through him right now, because before, you know, in the structure of the organization, Antonetti answered to Shapiro, Shapiro answered to Paul Dolan. Now Antonetti answers directly to Dolan. So I think, you know, that's how the information, or, you know, really, Antonetti will be the, you know, the top spokesman for the ball club.
Hoynesy, looking at this team, obviously the season is effectively over. They can't win that second wild card spot. So going into the offseason, going into the 2016 season, give me the guy on this roster that is notable, that has been around a little while, that you think is most likely to not be on the roster come opening day 2016.
Well, I think, you know, we've talked about it a couple times. You know, I think Carlos Santana, probably a guy that they'll look to move. But, you know, who knows? You know, I think, you know, they put themselves in a situation, you know, where, you know, they're not going to make improvements to the free agent market, at least not big, you know, blockbuster type improvements. The only way they're going to have to improve this ball club is by trades, or, you know, kind of bottom of the barrel free agent signings like a Scott Kazmir, you know, lightning in the bottle type free agent guy signing. So, you know, I think, you know, if you're going to get a good player, you got to trade a good player. I think, you know, you look at Santana's numbers at the end of the season. You know, they're close to what he's done over his career. He's a power hitter, a switch hitter. You know, I think he's frustrated Cleveland fans. It might be time for a change of scenery for him, and it might be the guy that the Indians are able to get the most for.
Hoynesy, looking ahead now to 2016, obviously they were on the cover of Sports Illustrated, you know, picked to win the World Series. You weren't really on board with that, I remember. But looking ahead to looking ahead to next season, I mean, realistically, what are the expectations for this team? Because they've got a lot of key players entering their primes or who have been in their primes for a little while. It seems like at some point the expectation needs to be, playoffs, World Series, or bust for this team.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is, an interesting ball club. You wonder about Kansas City. Kansas City's like the flagship of the AL Central right now. Their starting pitching is not great. They lose their closer. You don't know if he's coming back, Greg Holland, next year, or he's probably got to have Tommy John. So I think if you pitching-wise, the Indians are in pretty good shape. I just offensively they've been so inconsistent this year, and that's really hurt them. I think. So I think they have to look at the offense. You've got a wide open outfield. Without Michael Brantley, so you've got to do something there. What do you is Kipnis your second baseman? I think yes. First base, if Santana is gone, you've got a question there. Third base, Rochelle played a great defense, but he didn't hit. Is Chris Johnson a guy that you can plug in there? So offensively, I think this winter is going to be a big. That's going to be the focus of this club because, pitching-wise, the rotation at least is solid. I think you can add a couple pieces to the bullpen, but, you still like the back end with Allen and Shaw. So I think, you can add some pieces there, but offensively, that's the key to me. You've got to improve this offense.
All right, Hoynes, thanks for the time.
Thank you, guys.